Greetings, Wizard Squad. Jason, Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts, where you get the tech news that you need to get with a little bit of a painfully honest twist. So, today, what do we have to talk about? First off, there's been a lot of talk about this iPhone SE2, iPhone 9, iPhone, and the question has been, will we see one soon? And the answer seems to be, according to Mac Rumors, who's quoting a report here, new LCD iPhone enters final verification stage. So it's gonna be happening soon, according to this report. Ming-Chi Kuo, the Mac Daddy of all Apple prognosticators, has said that Apple plans to put out this device, most likely announced sometime later on in March, and then it will be out sometime in the first half of the year. If you don't know, this new iPhone, the iPhone 9 or the iPhone SE or the iPhone SE2, iPhone, nobody knows what it's going to be called, but what it's going to be is an iPhone 8 body. It'll have Touch ID, it won't have Face ID, it'll have an LCD screen, it will also have all of the internals of the iPhone 11. So you'll basically be getting an iPhone 11 in a smaller body with all the same internals, and the cost is rumored to be at this point $399, and I've heard that ever since I've heard rumors of this, so I have to believe that there's some truth to it. Seems like it's gonna happen. Supply side stuff has been a little weird with all the things that are going on health-wise around the world. It sounds like Apple will be ready to go with this phone, and we're gonna just move on as planned. If you're excited for a really cheap iPhone that has really good specs, you don't have to wait much longer. Ming-Chi Kuo has also been really busy leaking information about the upcoming iPhone 12, which we won't see until September, and there's some indication that there might be low supply. Ming-Chi Kuo has said that we're gonna get 5 models of the iPhone this year. We're gonna get 2 iPhone 12s, 2 iPhone 12 Pros, and 1 6.7-inch screen iPhone 12 Pro Max. That's a mouthful. And yay, there was much rejoicing. It sounds like they're actually going to go back to a more squared off design. This has been a topic for conversation for quite a while, but they're gonna go back to a squared off design that looks a little bit more like the iPhone 5 and 4, except gigantic compared to those phones. This is what I wanted. This is what I was looking for. Word is it's going to be a huge upgrade, a major design change that I think everybody's been hoping for quite some time now. I'll link to all the stuff that I'm using to source this material down in the comments below, so you can go read the articles yourself. But I am very excited. I am very excited because I was worried, I made a video earlier, worried that the iPhone 12 was going to look like the iPhone 11 and 10. It just very boring. There have been several concept designs that have been floated out there, and among them a concept design from Concept Creator is most likely closest to what we are going to see with the iPhone 12. And if it's the case, then I am pleased. I am pleased. I'm glad that the iPhone is going back to that look like the iPad Pros did earlier on. Prognosticators on Wall Street are also expecting that this year there's going to be a tsunami of demand for the iPhone 12. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives has put out a report saying that he expects an iPhone supercycle. Now, we hear about this iPhone supercycle all the time. Every year it's going to be a supercycle. Well, there are a couple of things that he believes are going to be factors in the supercycle for the iPhone this year. One, about 300 million people who carry iPhones are in the window for upgrade. I don't know what that window really is, but the window for upgrade as they define it, we've got 1/3 of the iPhone owners in the world ready to upgrade to a new iPhone. So that plus the introduction of 5G, which is still not going to be a major factor for a while now. I don't really see 5G making it to the Midwest where I live anytime in the next 2 years, but the 5G is going to aid that supercycle as people upgrade to be future-proof for the next thing that's coming, the 5G. The 5G. Of course, there are some issues that are ongoing and will continue to impact the production of these phones, the current health crisis that we're under. There's hope that by April or May, a lot of the factories will be back at work, and once we get to June, July, things will be moving a little bit more smoothly, things will be a little bit more back to normal, and it doesn't look like it's going to really impact the iPhone production. And in terms of the iPhone absolutely crushing all the other competition. I mean, we've got a couple of things going on here. We've got Samsung with a really crazy pricing structure for their brand new S20 line of phones. There's been issues with autofocus on the S20 Ultra that a lot of reviewers have not been reporting. Samsung claims that they are going to have a fix for it. Now, I just want to take a second to say that if you are a reviewer, if you're somebody who reviews phones and you don't tell your audience about a known issue with the device, and this I have to assume at this point will be the device that is released by the company later this week. If you review your phone and you don't mention that there's an autofocus problem, then you're doing a disservice to your audience. And really, who do you owe more? Your audience or Samsung? Do you work for Samsung? Some people have asked, should I tell people about it? Should I wait until Samsung fixes it? No! You've got a review unit, review it. Tell people about it. The last thing we're going to talk about today is the MacBook Pro 14-inch that's slated to come out later on this year. The MacBook Pro 14-inch, I think is going to be announced in March. Whether there's a WWDC event or not, there's going to be a ton of products, and they'll probably launch or release over the course of the year. But we have a 14.1-inch MacBook Pro that will have a mini LED display. Now, why did Apple go with mini LED? Well, OLED is great. OLED is great. I have an OLED TV. I love my OLED TV. However, there is the risk of burn-in with OLED. It's not as bad as it was in years past, but there's still that risk. And when you have a computer screen, there are always a lot of static things on the computer screen that could cause burn-in. Micro LED gives you a lot of the benefits of OLED without the risk of burn-in. And so Apple is bringing this mini LED technology to their laptops this year, as opposed to in 2021 or 2022. We've heard a lot of different things, but it sounds like latest word from Ming-Chi Kuo is that Apple will bring mini LED to the 14-inch MacBook Pro and the 16-inch MacBook Pro, and then we're also going to see a refreshed iMac Pro as well as an iPad Pro, and everything Pro is going to be more Pro. Stay tuned for that, I guess. Let me know what you think down in the comments below about this new format where I'm giving you some news of the day and commenting on it with my own opinion, because that's what I do. Most of this news is good. Most of this news is better than what we had heard before, so I'm excited to see what Apple's coming up with. They could absolutely let us down and give us none of this, but Ming-Chi Kuo is sort of like, he talks to the gods of Apple, and they say things to him, and he seems to know what he's talking about. So I tend to trust what he has to say a little bit more than I do other prognosticators. Now, again, I'll put all the links to all the articles that I use to source this material down in the comments below. So thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. My name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is the Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out.